did not come here to hustle hard, to overwork, to be burnt out and burnt to a crisp for people, places, and spaces that might not even really value you and really respect you. You were not created for that. You were not born to live that life. So how do we get out of it? How do we break that cycle and break that pattern? Today, I want to talk about 3 lies that women are told, women who tend to do it all. The lies that they put in front of our face, the conditioning, let's break it, let's put it away forever. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. I am Reema, and let's get into it. If you see me looking down, I am looking at my notes. Okay, lie number 1. Focus on your career. Lie number 1 is to focus on your career. I do think there is an exception to this lie. So let's get the exception out the way. The exception is if your career is what brings you the most fulfillment in life and you literally love what you do, and not the, oh, I'm going to, a co-working party or a networking party. Oh, do you like what you do? Yeah, I like what you do. Like, not the fake, I like what I do, I love what I do, but the true, true inside fulfillment. My job truly fulfills me. I love it. It brings me the most joy. Like, that's the level of fulfillment I'm talking about. So if your career brings you that level of fulfillment, then that's the exception to the lie. And if I'm being honest, the only people in my life that I can think of whose career brings them that level of fulfillment, they're either entrepreneurs, and honestly, I could think of some teachers. I know some teachers hate their job, but I can think of a handful of teachers who were really like, I love children. Like, this is my calling. I love what I do. Okay, that's the exception. Now, back to the lie. Focus on your career. If you're being really, really honest with yourself, and your job is just an additional stream of income and it's not something that your heart is in, you do not need to just focus on your career. You need to focus on your life. You need to focus on your relationships. You need to focus on your friendships. You need to focus on your health. You need to focus on getting clear on what type of life you want to live and what type of life you want to create, so that you can create it, so that you're not only focused on this career that doesn't really even fulfill you. And I think for a lot of women, I'll speak for myself, it took me a while to kind of wake up to the fact that this isn't even really what I want. It's interesting. There was a part of me that knew day one, but there was also a part of me, and I mean day one of working after college, but there was also a part of me that suppressed it and was like, okay, but this is what people do, this is just the normal. But in 2025, that does not have to be the normal. There are people every single day who are so creative, and they are figuring out ways to monetize their creativity and monetize their passions and figuring it out. There are people who are stay-at-home wives, stay-at-home moms, stay-at-home girlfriends. There's so many options today. So focusing on your career doesn't need to be the end all be all. And if you are in a career that you hate, when you really think about it, if you really don't like it, if it's burning you out and you hate it, you do need to change your dynamic with your career. I'm not saying that you need to quit tomorrow, but you do need to establish some boundaries. You do need to break the cycle of overgiving. You do need to find your passions again. What made you happy as a child? Start doing that. If you did dance classes throughout your whole life and it just fell to the wayside and now you're so burnt out and unfulfilled, start doing dance classes once a week and bring it back into your routine. You have to do something. You have to change something so that you aren't in this dynamic, this, bitterness. anymore in your career. So that is lie number one, focus on your career. And I do highly, highly, highly believe in education and university, etc. And then after that, I think having, and the younger generation already thinks like this, but having more freedom and exploring alternative careers, traditional careers, switching up careers, not being loyal for too long if that's not what you want, not being loyal at all for real, because if they can lay you off in a day because of whatever, then I really don't think you need to be loyal at all. But yeah, don't overly focus on your career. Focus on your life. What type of life do you really, 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 really want? Okay, lie number two. Okay, lie number two is women are told to be independent. We're taught be independent. You don't have to rely on anyone. You don't need no one. Yeah, I think that's a lie. I think it's harmful. I believe in interdependence. Now, that's not to say that learning how to become independent is completely wrong, but there needs to be some type of harmony, some type of balance. Because if you're saying women should only be independent, I mean, I don't think that's healthy. Like, where's the community in that? Where's the support in that? Where's the being held in that? Where is it takes a village to raise a child in that? Like, it's missing a core part of being human. Like, humans weren't created to be in a little silo bubble matrix thing alone and just live their whole lives in this bubble. And you look at 2025, you look at today, it's a loneliness epidemic going on. People feel so disconnected. Yeah, and we're taught to be independent. No, what about being held? What about being loved? What about being supported? What about being in community? So I do think having that mindset can be harmful. Yeah, it might be nice to have in your back pocket. You know that if some stuff blows up, you know, you can make it on your own. But I don't think that as the goal is healthy. I think being in relationships is healthy. I think being in community is healthy. I think allowing support and allowing help is healthy. But a lot of times, women who are doing it all, there's some type of subconscious belief that we have to do it all, that we can't trust. I know for my personal self, that was something that I dealt with. Like, I can't trust. I feel safer being in control. But that will only serve you for up to, you know, a point where it's like, no, you gotta release the control. You can't, you know, just be so, everything has to be this way for the rest of your life. That's such a tight, like, it feels so tight and constricting. So in what ways can you today start being more interdependent? So what if you start with something super small and you're just like, hey, can you, I don't know, ask your brother or ask someone, like, can you take care of this? Ask someone in your life, can they take care of something? Like, allow yourself to be supported. Allow yourself to receive more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And then that kind of ties into lie number 3, which is if you prioritize your rest and your health and your body, everything will fall apart. Everything will fall apart. So many women today, and that's kind of like not, you know, receiving support, not allowing help. So number 2 and 3, I mean, they're all interconnected, but I think number 2 and 3 are very connected. But yeah, like, that's a lie. If you don't, how can you be your best self for other people if you're tired all the time? How can you show up for your family, for whoever, your friends, and just be your true self, your best self, if you are burnt out, tired, and don't feel good in your body all the time? And if you are interested in reclaiming your body and your health and your wellness and feeling strong and beautiful and confident again and reaching your healthy weight, I do have an ebook. I will drop it down below in the comments. But yeah, if you don't feel good in your body, like, how can you truly be there for someone else? What model are you setting for the young girls in your life if you don't allow yourself to rest, if you don't allow yourself to receive? So prioritizing your health and your wellness and your rest is one of the most loving things you can do for people in your life. It might feel selfish, but it's really selfless if you think about it in the long term. Especially if you think about it in the long term, because when you think about long-term health and the consequences of not doing this, long-term more health issues could arise, etc. So definitely rest. And then see if everything falls apart, because it's a good chance that you'll wake up after your season of rest and say, oh, people are smart. Humans are smart. People will figure it out. You don't have to do it. They will figure it out. So these are the 3 lies I wanted to talk about. I invite you to live your best life, live a soft life, put yourself first, prioritize your health, your body. Don't overgive to a job that will lay you off tomorrow, unless it's your, like your heart call, like unless it's like your soul is like, this is what I need to do. Okay, then, give it all out. But yeah, I hope this reaches whoever needs it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.